She's also the founder of Black Lily Leathers, a successful artisan business and a passionate community builder known for her impact with the American Red Cross and military organizations worldwide, where she's speaking at TAP panels or leading pipeline strategy. Kim brings unmatched energy and heart to every mission. So we welcome you back again. So thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me and doing your research on me on LinkedIn. Appreciate that. Hey, that's what it's there for.
That is what it's there for. We love LinkedIn here. But yeah, we're glad to have you back because you've come and provided us with a lot of great advice before. So hopefully we have some new ears in the group that will have new questions for you. Um,
Absolutely.
yes, and you've had such a diverse and impactful career. What initially led you to the worlds of talent acquisition and cybersecurity?
Well, it was an accident. I'm not a cybersecurity person by any means. I'm more of a people person myself. And an IT organization reached out to me. I ended up doing project management with them, but I also ended up working for them. And I'm very, very passionate about helping transitioning military and veterans. Um, when I was deployed in South Korea, I got a President's Award, 900 hours with the Red Cross. It was not something I ever even considered doing because I do not do well around blood. So, um, but it was awesome. And, being able to help transitioning military veterans and their families is really important because a lot of times you guys just don't get the support that you need. And unfortunately, a lot of people that are already in the military, they just they don't know what they don't know. And so it's very hard for a lot of those type of people to help as you transition out. Here in Colorado Springs, we have a huge network of people who mentor specifically in cybersecurity. And it's really, really important to start building your network and getting out there, mostly because one, it makes you feel good, helping other people, at least it does for me. But also building that network helps you find jobs, right? So you could be talking to one person about yourself, giving your 30-second elevator pitch, and then the next minute they're referring you to somebody else who, could have a potential job for you. And and I've seen it over and over again, and that's how I've found some staff here. That's actually how I got my job here at this organization. After I came back from South Korea, ran into a, a rival, if you will. And she said, "I'd love for you to be on my team. Do you want to work with us?" Absolutely. And it's just the fact that, being out there in the community and running into somebody that I knew landed me this job and best organization I've ever worked for.
That's amazing. I was a blood drive ambassador for Red Cross for a while as
Oh,
well. So
nope. Nope. I would have straight passed out.
yeah, no, I just did the check-in process. So I was scanning driver's licenses and, writing people's names down. So, and giving snacks.
There you go.
So I stayed away from the actual blood part of it because I'm like you, I don't do well with that. So, but I appreciate all the giving that you have done and you're continuing to give back to the veteran community. I know you have a slideshow that you want to get through, so I'm not going to ask you too many questions because I'm hoping everybody else in the room will have some questions for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have plenty of time for you all, so happy to help any way that I can. Regardless of if you're interested in IT or cybersecurity, it doesn't really matter to me. My goal is to make sure that your questions are answered on all areas of transitioning, um, getting into the workforce and making sure that you guys are taken care of. And that's the important part. Um, and so feel free to ask any questions in any regard, and I'm happy to help you any way that I can. So for those of you who's never heard of Rapid Ascent, it's a fully immersive program in the industry of IT and cybersecurity. And what I mean by fully immersive is that we call it apprentice style training because it is a virtual program, but you're actually job shadowing your instructor. The really great part about it is our instructors are all practitioners. So they actually work in the field of cybersecurity. They're not just professors. It's not death by PowerPoint. And in fact, one of our part-time evening instructors, he's the lead threat hunter for the Army. So during the day, he's in a skiff. During the evening, he's building curriculum and teaching our learners, which is awesome. And then one of our full-time day instructors, he's the master trainer for CompTIA and did that for over 10 years. So we don't typically have any issues with our students passing the Security Plus exam or the CYSA exam because I don't want to say he wrote it, but he probably had a lot of say in what it looked like. So, but we actually built our program in collaboration with Boeing. But the purpose is because there's a lot of organizations out there and they teach you how to pass an exam and then you get a whole list of certifications. But the problem is a lot of people don't know how to do the job, right? So what we decided to do is we're going to teach you how to do that job the very first year, so that you understand the ins and outs of it so that you're successful. And then you get that certification that makes you marketable within that area. And so that's kind of the process that we look at and that we take as we move forward into helping you get into that industry. And so Craig Schultz, he's our CTO. I'm not sure if he's on with us yet, but if not, he'll be on in a little bit. And he's kind of built the curriculum and worked to make sure that everything is working accurately. Myself, I'm a veteran and a military spouse, the ambassador for Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center, as well as Veterans Beer Club. So I know it sounds delicious, but if you don't drink beer, you can still be a part of that organization. The purpose is to help people get jobs. And so we meet the last Wednesday of every month here in the Springs. There's also some all over different locations. But it's supposed to be a comfortable environment to help you start building your network and meeting people. And so it's just a great organization. And then Sunny Schaefer, she's our career service director. Her job is to work with you. If you decide to do training with us, she meets with our learners every single week and she helps with negotiating funds. Basically, you'll get a cybersecurity mentor. She helps you learn how to find mentors, negotiating funds, getting referrals, your 30-second elevator pitch, resumes, LinkedIn, all of that stuff that a lot of you probably have never had to do being in the military. So she walks you through that process. And then she does one-on-ones with people. She helps them write their resumes around the job, and she's awesome. She's a veteran as well. In fact, I would say probably about 99% of our team are veterans. If not, then they've worked with the military community for many, many years. So,
Perfect.
um,
I'm on now
oh,
too. I heard your
hey,
intro. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. And hello, everyone. I look forward to chatting with you in a few minutes here when we talk about the curriculum, and I'll introduce myself a little bit more there.
thanks, Craig.
Yep.
Talking a little bit more about, we have realistic ranges. So the kind of the way that we have it set up is, and I'll get more into this a little bit later, but you have a portion that's live instruction led. You're job shadowing your instructor, and then you have a portion where you're working with coaches, and the coaches are helping you do those job simulations. So it's kind of like a crawl, walk, run. And then you have a part where you're doing labs. The really great part about the labs is that you kind of get to choose which area of IT or cyber you're interested in. So maybe you're interested in threat hunting or risk assessment, network security, incident response, maybe cloud security or AI. And you get to do different simulations within those different areas. And so each learner kind of builds their own path. And whatever area you find you're most interested in, at the very end, you'll do a capstone in that specific area, and then that's where we'll help you with employment opportunities. So you're building that path for yourself, because you really don't know where you're going to enjoy until you've actually tried it. And so that's why we've set it up this way, so you can really figure out what area works best for you. The really cool thing about cyber is that there's kind of something for everybody because it's so vast and there's so many different areas in it, that you can almost work well in a specific area. And for those of you who, maybe you're higher level in the military and you're looking at project management, cybersecurity is a really great organization a great industry to couple with project management. So you do project management within the cybersecurity industry. So you couple your PMP with your Security Plus, and that makes you really marketable within that industry and typically really good pay. So, so for some of you, I'm not sure if you've heard of Onward to Opportunity. That's a really great nonprofit side of Syracuse University, and they give away one free certification. So, you could do your Sec Plus. Well, they do HR, they do cybersecurity and project management. So one free certification from them. Another organization, if you haven't heard of them, is Act Now Education, ACT, Act Now. Jay Salters founded that. They have a great platform for job opportunities. They have a ton of fantastic resources there, and then they also often give away a free certification. I think theirs is more on the cyber side. So learn how to stack those certifications. Don't ever pay out of pocket, because being your background, military background, as well as spouses, typically you can get a free certification. So just wanted to throw that out there for you guys. All right, let's talk a little bit about funding, pay. What does it look like within the cybersecurity industry? Now, this bell curve here, we actually pulled off of our own stats. So down here, around the 50,000 range, typically no military background, brand new to IT or cybersecurity. They don't have a clearance or anything like that. This is more of like a help desk position. Our most of our learners are kind of here in this area. Now, this is prior military. Perhaps you have a secret security clearance and maybe you're looking at DoD work, and you're in an entry level position, no background in IT or cyber, but you did our training. It's about 80,000. Now, I actually pulled some stats not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago, and all of our students that are prior military, regardless of clearance level, our average is about 92,000. Okay, so no background. Some of them do have a background, so average. And then up here in this area, if you have a, SATCOM or Intel analyst background or some kind of IT cybersecurity background, perhaps you have a TSSCI clearance level, you do our training, typically you're looking at 130, 140 range. So, so this kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like with experience, without experience, clearance, and non-clearance. Okay, so if you are interested in our program, the very last thing that I want is for any of you to start a program and hate it. Start in a specific industry and it not be right for you. Okay, so we built this, it's called Jumpstart. It's a cybersecurity pre-training. It's about 6 to 8 hours of training. It's 100% free. Any of you can do it at any time. It's available to you. And it talks about IT cybersecurity fundamentals, terminology, how critical language and math apply to cyber. There's an interview prep section. So there's different modules. You don't have to do it all at one time. Some of them are timed though. But it really helps you understand if this is right. We've had people come in and man, they're ready to get going. Everybody's told them that cyber is the way to go. And then they do our jump start and they're like, Kim, that I tried. It's not for me. Okay, let's figure out what is for you. And I'm going to introduce you to people that I know in a different industry and get you on the right track for you, because that's what I want for you. I don't want you to get into our training and, force it. That's how I got my master's degree. I forced it in public administration, failed my first class, retook it. I graduated with the 3.7925 and hated it, never used it, and it was a waste of my time. So, make sure that the industry you're getting into is right for you before you move forward. But if you are interested in doing Jumpstart, you can go to rapidascent.com, click on the Get Started button and fill out the profile information. And then once you verify your email address, I'll give you these steps later as well. You log into your account and at the top of your screen, you're going to see a My Training tab. That's how you access Jumpstart. So okay, so what else? What do you get from the program? Definitely, you're going to understand how to do that job the very first year. You're going to get the basic skills that you need to be successful. You're going to get career services, and then you're going to get a certification. So typically, we offer the Security Plus because that's the baseline certification to be marketable in cybersecurity. Specifically, DoD, it's a DoD requirement. In the private sector, it's just going to make you more marketable. If you already have that, then your CYSA Plus, which is your cybersecurity analyst. And then if you already have both of those, we do our best to make sure you get one additional certification so that you're more marketable. Okay. We have two options, a 17-week full-time day program or a 23-week part-time evening program. Now, for those of you who might be looking for a skill bridge program, typically you can choose either of these programs. Really, they're both full-time. They're considered full-time by the VA. Okay. Just the part-time evening is shorter during the day and stretched out longer. And then we're partnered with City University of Seattle right now. And so you actually get 30 college credits toward a cybersecurity degree. So there's not a lot of organizations, certification organizations that also offer college credits. And then you graduate with an undergraduate certificate in cybersecurity. So lots of great stuff. Let's see. Okay. Does it cost? It's 4.5 months of GI Bill benefits. Or if you have at least a 10% disability rating, then you can utilize VR&E funds. Now, I just want to warn you, right now, because of the furlough and because of all the government changes at the beginning of the year, VR&E is, well, they were 120 days behind. Now, with the furlough, I mean, they're not working right now, so they're going to be even further behind. So same with your GI Bill benefits. So I say that to say if you are interested in using your benefits for any program, I highly encourage you to apply for your benefits right away because typically it's a 30-day process to get your certificate of eligibility. Right now, it's going to be longer than that. So if you want to use those at any time in the future, I suggest you apply for them. Then your certificate of eligibility will come in the mail, and also you'll get a statement of benefits on the va.gov website. That way they're there for whenever you need them. Okay. So va.gov, you log in, you go down to the education section, and then you apply for benefits or VR&E. So that's how you would do that. We do have Vet Tech when it's available this year. It doesn't look like it came back, but we're still hoping that eventually it will. Yellow Ribbon, and then we do have scholarship options as well. So we typically give away a pretty good number of scholarships every 3 months. Our cohorts are every 3 months. And basically that's our way to give back, because if you don't have any funding, but you really have the aptitude for IT or cyber, we want to make sure that we get you the training that you need. Okay. This is what the Jumpstart looks like, the pre-training I spoke of earlier. So I think this will either get you a meeting with me so that we can do kind of a short little goal setting session, or maybe get you to our sign up page. I'm not quite sure. But you'll just click on these modules to be able to do that Jumpstart pre-training. Okay, when do classes start? So we actually had a class start yesterday. So we have part-time and evening start, and then the next one isn't until January 5th. So we got some time there. I typically say if it's something that you're really interested in, the sooner you get registered, the better. It saves you a spot. There's no there's no hassle, there's no rush. Get in there, get ready, and be prepared. Okay, so for the full-time day schedule, up here on the left, this is your time zone, okay? Doesn't matter if you're overseas. Typically, we can accommodate overseas as well. Monday through Friday. Now, this instructor-led portion, this is where you're job shadowing your instructor, okay? And then right here, your coaching session. This is where you're working with coaches on the specific projects that you're working on. And then the self-directed portion, that's where you're doing those labs and choosing specific areas to do job simulations. This flex time is basically just catch-up time. Now, the employer success session here, This is with Sunny, and this is where I mentioned earlier, she's working with you on getting a mentor and your 30-second elevator pitch, negotiating funds, all that stuff. She does every week with you guys to make sure that you're keeping up with that. Now, employer success is so crucial to helping you get employed. So that is part of your grade also, okay? Because we want to make sure that you guys are getting those skills down. And then this industry expert session, this is really cool because we have hiring managers come in every week, as well as subject matter experts that talk about what they do every day on the job, what you can look forward to as you transition out. A lot of our SMEs are prior students. So the cool part is they could talk about, where you are now, because they were there, and where they are now, where they are then, where they are now. And it's really cool to hear from them and their success stories and such. We had a young man come through the program. He was a 23 years a cook in the military, in the Army. And he came through our program. He was the class favorite. Everybody loved him. Awesome, awesome guy. He actually did some Try Hack Me and Hack the Box and some other things. So he started his own home lab and he put the link on his resume and an organization loved it, the fact that he was doing so much and they hired him right away. He was making, I think it was 83,000 right out the door, had no IT or cybersecurity training except for our training. And it's been over a year now, and I believe he's making like 92 or 93,000. So that's not bad. Okay, part-time evening. Again, your time zone, Monday through Thursday. Okay, for a part-time evening, you just have the 2-hour live instruction portion, and then you can kind of choose whenever you want to do your labs. Again, the career development session. Now, on Fridays, this for the subject matter expert, and then this is where you're specifically learning to pass the exam. These are not required for the part-time students, but they are recorded, so you can either attend or listen to the recording later. So we're very accommodating. A lot of you are transitioning out. You're going to have VA appointments. Some of you are moving, out processing, all these different things are going on, lots of uncertainties. If you happen to miss training, you just let your instructor know and everything is recorded. You can always go back, listen to the recording and or set up a meeting with the coaches. That's what they're there for, to make sure that you guys don't get behind. Okay. Here's kind of a breakdown. I'm just going to briefly go over this, and then Craig is going to go into depth a little bit more about what you'll actually learn. Please have questions as well. And then Craig, if you're watching the chat, please answer those on there. So the first month, you're more foundations. Okay. Now, this is accommodating for any level that you might be. So if you're never done it in your life, okay, we're going over fun foundations, then the next month operations, then you're going to secure the enterprise. Then you pick the specific area of interest and you do the capstone. But in your labs, okay, let's say you're more intermediate, whatever, we have it broken down into levels. So level 1, you'd be entry level, 2 or 3, more advanced. And so those are going to accommodate you based off of your experience level. So it kind of works for everybody. Okay. And then in between these, so you're getting all the things that you need here. And what I'll do is I'll send you all this. Heidi, I'll send you the PowerPoint, and then, if anybody wants it, they can get it from you. Does that work?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then Craig, if you wanted to kind of go a little bit more into depth about the things that they'll be learning.
Sure, sounds good. Thanks, Kim. And again, thanks for the intro. Just in terms of my background, so I am the CTO here at Rapid Ascent, so responsible for the technology as well as the training. And just quick background, so I spent about 15 years at Lawrence Livermore National Lab as a senior physicist, working kind of across a whole set of DoD programs. So while not in the service, in a service, I have worked with pretty much every service out there. So from AFTAC, Air Force, Technical Application Center, a lot of time out at ONI and Suitland on their systems, and then eventually spent time with Stratcom when Cybercom was connected to them on the nuclear side, but looking at the cyber security side of nuclear weapons. And eventually was pulled out of the lab, actually. And so I've spent the last 12 years on the commercial side, building high-tech cybersecurity companies, and then finally, kind of advanced training, and we'll walk through that a little bit here. But I raise this because we really don't bring anyone into this program who doesn't have DoD experience. So everyone is either active duty, they are a veteran, or they've spent extensive time kind of working on the military side, in partnership. And that's important because transitioning from the military, as Kim mentioned, is something that really is a transformation. There's a lot going on in terms of going from chain of command, which we all know well, kind of into the corporate culture. And so this program is also there, to support you in that transition with folks that know both sides, who've had, a leg on both sides for a long time. And so, one of the key things we want to do is make sure that, is a very safe and a very confident transition for folks who go through this program. All right, so let's kick off just a little bit here. Again, you saw the eye chart on the last one of all the stuff we cover. What I really want to do here is just give you a feel, especially, if you haven't done a lot of cybersecurity, a feel for how the program works and how we structure it to get you ready for a cybersecurity career. And then more importantly, we want to make sure there's a good match here. The goal here is to take those who have a real passion for cybersecurity and really work to make sure that you're ready in two ways. First way is to make sure that you can actually confidently do the tasks that are required that, first year on the job. So we're not a cert shop. Well, we'll get you the certs. As Kim mentioned, we have some very good trainers on the certification side. We do it extremely efficiently, extremely well, but that's typically just a couple weeks of this course. The rest of it is all hands-on. So think of us, maybe the best analogy, if you're a baseball or a football fan, think of us, as a field team, where you're going in, you're actually playing the game, you're in teams, you're learning your mechanics, you're getting that muscle memory, you're figuring out how to play the game effectively so you can go into the pros. In football, it might be, your OTAs and your training camp. But this is all about getting you on systems, getting you confident to work with it, understanding kind of strategy and cybersecurity and how you approach, the various roles. Second goal, which naturally comes out of that, but it's integrated within the program, is to make sure that when you go into interview that you're confident in terms of, being able to talk to the person on the other side. You've done enough projects, you've been through enough scenarios that you typically will align with what they're looking for you to do on the job. And so second goal is to make sure that you actually nail that interview and you're confident and you connect with the person who's trying to hire you. So those two very simple objectives at the top of this. In terms of accomplishing that, we split the program up into 4 tracks. So the first track is foundations. We want you to understand the building blocks of cybersecurity. If you have no experience in cybersecurity, which more than half of the folks who go through this program, are kind of in the position of, then we're going to take you through what's called stage 0. We're going to, familiarize yourself with the basic systems. Jumpstart gives you the terminology, but stage 0 gives you the hands-on with the systems, getting on, running VMs, scripting, some of the basic things that you're going to, need to know and have muscle memory for, throughout the entire course and training. And then we're going to go through kind of basic components, Linux, Windows, operating systems, networking fundamentals to make sure that you understand each of those extremely well and the most important concepts there. If you have a background in cybersecurity, and we have a lot of people who come through have a background, either they've done very specific tasks in the military, maybe you've run networks, maybe you've installed systems, maybe you're a system administrator in the military. That is fine. This is going to broaden, your expertise out and your fundamentals out so that you're ready for, cybersecurity in its much broader sense. And so it's a good refresher on a lot of things, and you'll find that you learn a number of things here. So if you just ran with Linux systems, get you deep into Windows and so forth. All right. So by the end of foundations, you have the building blocks. At that point, we're going to take you into operations right away. We're going to run you through some of the very, most core roles in cybersecurity and make sure that you understand the life cycle of what you're going to do operating in that role, each week. And so we're going to go through threat management, threat intel, threat management. How do you manage threats that are targeting the organization, understand them? We're going to go through, how do you identify vulnerabilities, a key way that you get into an organization or a network. And how do you, go through the process of patching that, prioritizing patches, patch cadence, all those things. And you're going to do it firsthand. You're going to get into network operations beyond network fundamentals. So how do you operate a network? How do you configure it? How do you maintain it? You're going to create and maintain your own subnetwork within this training. So most people haven't built networks from scratch as cybersecurity experts, but we're going to have you do that. You're going to understand it, and then you're going to defend that network, later on in the training. Identity and access management. Again, we're going to get into monitoring. How do you monitor all of these systems? We're going to get into SOC engineering life cycle. We're going to get into how do you respond to an event? How do you investigate event? If you like forensics, we're gonna go a little bit deeper into forensics here to get you a little bit into the forensics life cycle of looking at these threats, understanding who they are and what they're doing, and then finally, how do you recover from an event? So that's the operations track. Lasts about 5 weeks. It's very accelerated, but it's going to, be focused primarily on getting you into the operational duties day to day and the basics of that. After that, we're going to go another step further. This actually, is critical in most industries. We're born out of aerospace. I have an aerospace background as well. And so the first programs we built with Boeing were around missile systems, satellite systems, and so forth. And, initially we placed a lot of people into aerospace. Still place a lot of people there. We now operate across all of the industries you see on the bottom. But because we're out of aerospace, we are big on secure enterprise systems. And this is an asset when you go to interview. Most people don't come in with that breadth of experience. So we're going to start off with applications. I don't care if you're attacking, a drone, if you're attacking a satellite, if you're attacking a Tesla car or a financial system, you're going after the applications typically, and they're out in the wild, right? They're on a car, they're on your phone if you're on a financial app. So how do you secure applications in the wild as a company, and how do you secure your own systems? Then we're going to get into something I think everyone here is very familiar with coming from the military side, risk management. How do you prioritize, especially under cost constraints and time constraints? How do you prioritize what you're going to implement? So we're going to build on, all of that great experience that you have, that you bring in to cybersecurity on the risk management side. And then we're going to talk about corporate trade-offs and how companies approach risk management and leverage a lot of that knowledge and experience that you have. To that, we're going to go into production systems. Okay, so the system's up and running. You're on, an air traffic control system. You're doing financial transactions every day. That system cannot come down. So how are we going to actually patch it, defend it, work with it while it's up and in production? And so you're going to be maintaining some systems and then looking at attacks on those, and you're actually be working with them so as not to bring them down. Again, like a field camp, we want to allow you to make mistakes here. We have a full range that's enterprise range, but it is a sandbox range. So very realistic, but you can make mistakes. If you go directly into the corporate environment, which many do when they go into cybersecurity right out of college or something else, you're afraid of breaking things all the time. You don't have a chance to fully explore all these systems, set them up, configure them, attack them. And so our goal here is to create a very safe environment where you can just go wild and you can make sure that you understand all the different aspects of it and learn those skills that most others actually, as cybersecurity experts, don't understand or don't have experience with. So following that, we're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to go through, and Adam, who Kim talked about, who was head for Army Threat Operations until just a few months ago. Now he's in a slightly different role in the Army, but he builds our threat hunting training. And so he keeps it up to date weekly. And he's set up a really nice exercise to hunt down a threat that you don't know who it is. But I guarantee you it's one of the most relevant, most widespread, and most impactful events out there. And you will identify it, you will track it, figure out what it's doing, and then you will come up with recommendations and actually mitigate this threat. It doesn't get much better than that. So that's a great way to kind of wrap up those first 3 tracks. Again, threaded throughout this, you're going to be getting your Sec Plus or your CISA Plus. Sec Plus is critical, can't get a job without it. So we're going to make sure that you get that Sec Plus first and foremost. And if you have Sec Plus, we're going to train you at CISA Plus. And if you have CISA Plus, we're going to figure out the next cert that you need and make sure that you focus, that cert time on that certification that works best for you. All right, fourth track. Now that you're done with that, we're going to get real and go deep. You will be exposed to most of the roles in these first three tracks. If you are someone, and cybersecurity, just to back up, is beautiful. I've worked in it for a long time, and you never stop learning. You never stop being challenged. I've also done many different types of roles. So depending on who you are, where you are in your life right now, what you'd like, what you have a passion for, there's almost any role for you that matches what you're looking for. So if you like investigating, trying to figure out what's going on, going deep, then forensics is a great area. We have a forensics cyber role here that you can go into for a week or so and really kind of go on an accelerated deep dive into that so you're familiar with it. If you like coding, we've got DevSecOps roles that you can go into. If you want to get into network engineering, we got deep network engineering role tracks for you. If you like cloud security, we're placing a lot of people right now into AWS systems. We just got another one hired this week. They are growing fast, and our system is set up extremely well for that. If you want to go into and use your clearance and you want to become an ISM, about 40% of our folks go into that role because they have the clearance. And so we do have a deep ISO role track and information security track if you want to go to the equivalent on the corporate side. And then incident response is always fun, so love that. And then final one, and it will be a part of this for everyone on the deep role side, we want to make sure everyone has a deep SOC engineering experience. So you will be building your own SOC, mini SOC, and deploying it. As I mentioned in the beginning, you will have created your own network with systems. You are now going to monitor that network within this track that you built and the systems that you've built with your newly built SOC system. And I'll tell you again, very few people in cybersecurity as professionals have done this. Built both a network, built the SOC, monitored their system from scratch. So you're going to do that within our enterprise range. You're going to have deep experience in each of these areas. Of course, you can't get in what you put, you get out of it what you put in. But if you fully engage within the program, you are going to have very deep knowledge of each of these. Finally, you're going to wrap up with an on-the-job capstone, which is simulated, of course, but it simulates a corporate situation where you take on a role. You also take on a broader cybersecurity project. You'll also have the ability to focus a little bit on the industry that you're interested in going into. And by the end of this program, again, let's come back to our two objectives. Goal is to make sure that by the time you're going through this capstone, you're familiar with all the different roles, tasks, the basic tasks within those roles. We're not going to teach you everything. It takes 2 to 3 years to get to tier 2 or tier 3 expertise in any one of these roles. So please, coming in, no expectations here that you're going to master everything, but you are going to have that foundational deep set of, skills in each of those areas so you can expand into that tier 2, tier 3 role when you get into, the corporate position. Cyber is great again. The other thing, and I think we're doing a session, Kim, together just on, cybersecurity right for you, if you still have questions about that. But the beauty of cyber is it operates in every single industry that's out there. If you love project management, everything in cybersecurity just about is a major project. Cybersecurity lacks people who do good project management. So we see a lot of people coming through coupling their project management side with the actual industry side. And with cybersecurity, it creates a great mix that's very unique, typically much higher paying for those who go through it. So anyway, if you have any questions, please throw them into chat. I know there was a lot here, but I wanted to give you guys a good feel for, whether this is a good match for what you're looking for. And again, everyone within our program, they're not college instructors. They have all come out of, 10 or more years of practitioner experience in the industry. I think almost all have been within the military at some point or supported it. And so you're coming into kind of a practitioner training here with some of the best in the industry and learning best practices from them. Again, I'll monitor chat, and at the end, we'll have some, question and answer period, so I can answer more questions then. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah, so a lot of information there. You guys will learn a lot of different areas within cybersecurity. I did notice a question on here that I wanted to answer. How does this work while doing SkillBridge? So most of you are probably with Allegiant Vets, or maybe straight through Seven Eagle Group. Not sure how that works specifically, but the great part about our program is you don't specifically have to do our program using SkillBridge. Okay, since you're using your GI Bill, you can do them simultaneously with each other. And so we've set it up to where we can collaborate very easily. Our next program, most of you will probably already be at a SkillBridge, I would assume by January. But that is when our next cohort actually starts. So potentially you could do it as a veteran, or if you're just finalizing your SkillBridge, finishing that up, you can still enroll. So either way, you can do us as a SkillBridge in general, or in collaboration with another SkillBridge. So it typically works very well for that. Okay, so to wrap up, I'm not quite sure how much time I have left here. But these are kind of some of the things that Sunny works with you guys on weekly. The LinkedIn workshops, tailoring your resume, interview techniques. She does lots of mock interviews. Craig, maybe you can talk about this a little bit, if you're still on, but the new systems that we just put in place to help with interviewing and such.
Yeah, I can do that. So one of the beauties of cyber too, and just how we work with you on the career side is, it's definitely on the forefront of AI. So we're being impacted with like almost every single AI tech change that's happening in real time. What we have done is blended that AI as well into our career side. So we use AI interview practice tools that take you through a scored, full interview set that's both technical as well as behavioral. And again, the intent here is to allow you to achieve a score based on, your everything from the technical response to the pacing of your answers to the connection you have with the interviewer. All of those are automatically reviewed and scored. And we ask you to kind of get the muscle memory to get up to a certain score level, typically around 80 out of 100 on the AI engine. Then we take you into the in-person interview once you have those base skills again and you're confident in going through that. We find that works extremely effectively. And then the second item is we do have our own employer network, which knows the quality of our training and what they get when someone comes through it. And so we continue to build out essentially an area where we connect you to that employer network, and they can see your skills, they can see your tasks, they can see your performance. If you do have to sign obviously information so we can share that with employers, but if you're agreeable to that, and again, you don't have to, but if you're agreeable to that, and then what we're able to do is get your information right in front of our employer network right away so they can come and find you. So Kim, I think that's a couple other programs, but those are the two core ones I think here that are good to know about.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right, so if anybody is interested, this is kind of the steps that we follow, rapidascent.com. You're going to click on the Get Started button. Again, even if you don't want to do our program, you just kind of want to see if cybersecurity is right for you, you can do that Jumpstart pre-training for free. But you'll just create your profile, fill out your profile information. Typically, you'll receive an email from me. I meet with everyone who comes through our pipeline first because I want to make sure that I kind of have a good understanding of where you want to be, what your goals are, where you are in relation to the military and your separation timeline. And then I kind of work with you to figure out what that looks like for you moving forward and help you as you progress in the right direction for you. So I like to meet with everybody, kind of talk about that first. But you don't have to meet with me. If you want to just do that jump start, then ignore my email and just go straight to it. That's perfectly fine. And then if you do, after you meet with me and you want to get registered, you complete what we call a get to know you experience. And so it's pretty cool. It's an automated system that asks you a couple of questions about your interest in IT and cybersecurity. And it's kind of like an automated interview, if you will. But you know, our goal throughout the whole program is to get you prepared for employment. So everything that we have you do is in preparation for getting you ultimately to where you want to be. So we do that, and then we help you get registered. Um, and then you're good to go. Then you just wait for your cohort to start, and you can do the jumpstart pre-training in the meantime if you hadn't already done it, and then be prepared for your cohort. So that is pretty much all I have. Does anyone have any questions? We love questions, so
How long
please
is the
feel free to
cohort?
ask.
A question, how long is the cohort? Can I see
So the
answered?
17-week full-time day or 23-week part-time evening. So it just depends on which one you want to get into. But again, they're the same hours. So either one is full-time, considered full-time by the VA. So because it is a virtual program, you get half full-time benefits, regardless of if you're doing our full-time or part-time program. So half full-time benefits, BAH, if you will, that's a little bit more than $1,000 a month. If you're still active duty, obviously, you can't get BAH twice, so you can't get it on your active duty service and through your GI Bill. Uh, but typically, what I say is even if you aren't getting that BAH because you're still active duty, you're not getting that additional. And, you know, some people might say, hey, well, I'm losing out on that BAH. Well, in my opinion, you're getting the skills that you need to be marketable right away. So you're going to likely get employed a lot quicker and make a lot more money to make up for that a little bit of BAH that you might feel like you miss out on. That's just my perspective. So hopefully that helps some of you. Any other questions?
I know somebody asked where you guys were located, but it is all online, correct?
It is
Yeah.
100% virtual, headquartered out in Virginia, Fredericksburg, Virginia. I'm located in Colorado Springs. Craig's out in California. We have some people in Georgia. We're kind of all over.
We have people
Uh,
at, I think, 10 different installations
Yep,
as
we
well.
do. Yeah, we have people out in San Antonio. By the way, I just want to throw out the Key community. If you're out in San Antonio and you haven't heard about the Key community, look it up on LinkedIn. Ray and Samantha Domingo, amazing organization. They're out there helping you with employment and tons of resources and things like that as well. So make sure you connect with them on LinkedIn, attend some of their programs. It's a fantastic resource.
And I see somebody else asked if they already have experience in cybersecurity and they want to get into the current cohort, are they able to still get in?
Unfortunately, the deadline was yesterday. Yeah, unfortunate. That's a requirement. Craig,
No,
unless you have,
no, that's I think reach out to Kim, but we have a VA benefit requirement that says that the GI Bill or VRNE has to be finalized by the close of business of the first day
which was
of
yesterday.
class, which was yesterday. So,
Yeah.
but there, like I said, I reach out to Kim and we can look at your case. Sometimes we have a tiny bit of flexibility there.
If you already have your certificate of eligibility, I might be able to push you through,
It
but
depends.
that would be all on this. That wouldn't be our saying. That would be on the city U side. So
Yeah, we have the ability to acquire. And then, in a couple cases, especially with the furloughing and other things, there may be a possibility. We're still waiting to see if there's some exceptions being made
yeah,
in
if you
this
already have
environment.
a VRNE approval, potentially,
Yeah,
but I'm not,
so
no promises.
exactly.
Uh, well, when somebody, as somebody with a cyber background, this sounds like an amazing opportunity. So I hope that those of you who are interested will reach out to Kim, get in touch, and get some really great training, it sounds like. I think I'm more like you, Kim, I'm a people person. So I'm trying to transition to human resources.
Yeah. Yeah, Craig laughs at me sometimes when of my computer ignorance.
Hey, you know,
Love it. That's the only way to be in a company, though. If you can laugh at each other, that's what matters.
exactly. It takes
Yes.
a team of every time. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I joke with my husband and tell him he's my IT guy, and he's always like, but you're cyber. I'm like, but I don't like computers.
Yeah, and that just yeah, that just makes my point in that there's something for everybody. You don't have to, be right there in the computer itself working it. There's so many different areas within cybersecurity that can kind of work for everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Does anybody else have any questions before we let her go? Or Craig? Okay, we're getting crickets. So thank you so much for your time. It was a great presentation. Again, I hope you all reach out to Kim if you want to get in touch with her. You missed her contact info. Oh, somebody already put it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming back again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having us, and happy to talk to you guys later on as well. So have a great
All
rest
right.
of your day.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you, everyone.
All right. You guys can take a short break before our next speaker at 3 Eastern time. Have about